Welcome to Fantasy Baseball, Baseball, Baseball. I'm Dan O'Day McClellan along with Steve Romano. Hey, Steve.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing well. Let's talk about some baseball. We're going to talk about our Roto League. It's been together for 18 years. It's a 5x5 league with 10 teams, 30 players each on the roster, not counting injured or minors. And it's a league with two catchers, corner infielder, middle infielder added, two outfield slots. And Steve, how are you doing in this league right now that I speak of? You are, by the way, co-champ last year. Co-champ.
Yeah, I have been doing well recently, but it has all fallen apart this year. I'm in ninth place in a 10-team league. My hitting is just, I mean, what can you say? I have 11.5 batting points. 11.5.
No, Steve, just to let you know, I'm looking at the current standing. You have 10 and a half.
Oh, great.
Because you got some, well, there's some games going, at least one game going on right now.
So I'm averaging 1.05 per
Per,
per batting stat.
per category? Well,
Oh,
it can't get any lower than that. And, I'm looking at it right now. And, in batting average, you are last. In home runs, you are last. In runs, you are three-way tie for last, so that gives you a little more points. In ribbies, you are last, and stolen bases, you're doing pretty good. You're tied for fifth. That was just
yeah,
I mean, breaking it down just sounds awful.
yeah. My pitching is middle of the pack,
Sure.
not a good team, not a,
Well,
but
you got
my hitting,
27 and a half points in pitching, Steve, which with a quick glance looking at the numbers, like fourth or fifth place overall.
it's
Which,
fifth. Yeah, it's fifth.
right. So it is decent, three, four, fifth. Yeah, fifth or so, maybe sixth. But still, it is just a few points behind. Your pitching's definitely holding up. Uh, you are currently
But
in
the
last
hitting,
place. Big Al has passed you.
wow. I've never finished in last place.
Well, just to make you feel better, I've been in last place in April and came back and won. So anything is possible. It
I don't
is.
know.
Hey,
We'll see.
anything is possible. But right now, the standings are the baseball Furies in first. Follow. Zach's been in first most of the year.
Yeah, Zach's hitting has just been crushing it. He's got a lot of guys killing
He
the ball right now.
he does, and I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to bring up he has 48 and a half points in batting, and the next best team is 36 and a half. So he's 12 points ahead of the next best offensive team, which is pretty impressive.
And if I look, like I'm looking on the player list of his team, he's got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine hitters in the top 93. I mean, Trout's at 107, so he's got 10 guys doing
That's
very well. He's,
that's
you know,
crazy.
8, 11, 23, 26, 28. So he's got five of the top 28.
That
That's awesome right there.
that is awesome. And then the thing is, he's got people like Matt Olson. He's not even up to par yet. You know what I mean? He's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
come around.
yeah. Him and Rushman are playing terrible,
Yep.
and Merrill's been injured. He hasn't even played.
So he's got guns in the holster, so to speak, ready to
Yeah,
break out. I mean,
yeah, he does.
seriously, and he's already way ahead in batting. So it is a strength. Looking at his team, we were talking earlier about his lack of starters. Right now, I see he has one, two, three, four, five, six. So he has gotten more starters. I believe Rodon, Abbott, Birdsong is a starter. Mal, Skubal, and Leiter. So he is. Last time we talked, I think he only had four. So he has gone a
Yeah,
route of picking up a couple more. He also picked up a guy that I wanted to pick up, Logan Henderson. Um,
Yeah,
I
I see
got
that.
him. Yeah, he came up and pitched one game. They sent him back down, but he's going to be back. He pitched real well, 9 Ks in 6 innings. He got the win. It was a good pickup. Zach stashed him in the minor league. So Zach in first place with 68.5 points. Seatown co-champion with you last year. In second place with 64.5 points.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
nice to see Mike having them back-to-back good seasons.
He's got a good roster.
And it's pretty split evenly. Like he's got around, 30 points of hitting and pitching.
Yes, indeed. 32.5 batting, 32 pitching. He's like really evenly settled in there. Offensive, defensively, did a good job drafting. His players are, performing enough in the early going. Ape in third at 63.5 points. I'm next with 61. Highland Park Crushers in fifth place with 59.5. Tommy Baseball with 58.5. And then the Sluggers with 57.5. And I go down to seventh place because those top seven are only 11 points apart.
Yeah, very close.
And in April, that's nothing. A lot can still happen, obviously, in the season. But I don't remember being this deep, this close, towards the end of April like this.
Well, I think for me, I don't remember um, a beginning of a season where the leader was so close to the pack. Like
Right,
usually somebody has like 80 early going in
right.
the first month. And nobody lasts there, not anymore. Maybe they did 7 or 8 years ago, but that's not happening anymore. And but this year it's not happening at all. Like I don't think anybody had 80. Maybe Garrett did on a day or two in the first week.
Garrett and Zach in baseball Furies has been in the high to mid 70s, but not 80. Rounding out the last three teams is Baldy in eighth with 40. Big Al is currently in ninth with 39. And you're in 10th, last place with 38 points. Big Al, who we're always rooting for, we actually, for from an analysis standpoint, we kind of root for his team because we thought it was one of the stronger teams coming out of the season,
Yeah,
out of the gate.
I
So,
did.
yeah, absolutely. He was up in the like almost mid 40s, I think. Which I think he was ahead of like both you and Baldy for a little while. So his team is I think playing a little better, but he doesn't see it in the standings. He's in second last 39. You were 38 points. That is the standings right now. What is surprising you going on with the teams and or the players right now, Steve?
I'm still surprised how many big money guys are off to bad starts. So
Yeah.
many, so many players that went for high salaries, or at least, 20 or more, and you're kind of counting on them. And there's a lot, like a couple dozen, 3 dozen, they're just not getting it done yet.
They're just, and these are guys that you expect to do it because, as we've discussed before, they've done it for 2 to 3 years at least in a row, and you're just used to them being them. Who are some of those that stick out to you?
Well, like I said, we're a month into the season, right? So all these guys have played like 28, 29 games. Mookie Betts is ranked 172. Juan Soto is ranked 141. Devers is at 165. Jordan Alvarez is a very stinky 344.
Wow.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 294. Freddie Freeman, 212. Trey Turner, 158. CJ Abrams, 184. Corey Seager, 314, and he's injured. Matt Olson, 243. Christian Walker, 528. Cody Bellinger, 286. Jose Altuve, 179. Brian Reynolds, 246. And then William Contreras, 146. Every one of those guys cost at least $20. Every
Wow.
one of them.
Wow. And that is what's
And
going on. Oh, absolutely.
so, yeah, a few of those guys, if you have one of them, so be it. But there's a few
Sure.
teams that have like 3 or 4 of those guys on their team, and that's not helping.
Well, that's I was about to get into that, and my next question to you was, how long do you stick with these guys? I mean, do you just hold on to all of them, or do you eventually start to think, I need the roster space, I got to pick somebody else who's productive?
But I don't see how you can move on from most of those names. I mean,
Absolutely,
you got to
you
give
g-
them more time for sure.
absolutely, you got to give them 3 months, even half a year until you actually give up on some of these names. And looking, you were saying some teams have more players like this than others. Looking at Eddie's team, Santander's 599. Brian
Yeah,
Reynolds is 246.
yeah,
Pascantino is 452. Adamas is
yeah,
389. Diaz from Tampa
yes.
Bay is 226. Arenado's 223, although, so I mean, a lot of his players, Lindor playing well, Perdomo playing very well, actually, Donovan. But that is one reason. And looking at your team, I believe you have some guys like that also.
Oh, I
Putting
hope
the
so.
logic of the numbers to the standings, you also have a lot of guys who are underperforming.
Yeah, Mookie Betts, Jose Altuve,
Berger,
Jake
even
Berger,
though you
who
weren't
I traded
expecting,
for. Yep.
476 right now.
Oh,
That's
I
awful.
know.
That's awful.
It's bad.
Yeah. But
Hauser's been injured, so he's, not even ranked. Paredes, 251. Not that I spent money on these guys, but
nope.
all the guys I targeted, and I'll be honest, I got a lot of guys I targeted. So it is what it is. I picked a lot of shitty players
By
a
the
month
way,
into the season. A
I
month
wanted to
into the
bring up to
season.
you, I
So
almost posted it again in the thread that Cruz hit another home run. You dropped Cruz. Um,
yes,
You saw
Dylan
that, I'm
Cruz.
sure. Looking at some of your players that
Yep.
who are playing well, Witt 42, Story 55 right now ranked. Bush you picked up, he's a 77. Mullins playing great, ranked 24th right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's slowed down a bit over the past 4 or 5 days, so hopefully that doesn't last. But yeah,
Well,
he's done well. Can't complain. James Wood, Bobby Witt has been picking it up because he started off slow. Story was on fire. Now he might be tailing off, so we'll see.
Campbell's
Christian
been
Campbell's been
consistent.
playing
He's been,
consistent. Yeah,
yeah, good enough.
he doesn't.
114. He can go either way right now. He can break 100 or go farther up.
Yeah, he's consistent on. He's a good hitter. Putting the bat on the ball, getting on base. That's not an issue. I guess it would be counting stats. But how do I mean, it just seems like a lot of times he doesn't, where he's hitting in the order isn't doing him any favors. If he could hit like second, oh, he'd be fucking amazing. But I don't see that happening anytime soon.
No, and it is what it is. And like you said, it's only a fifth of the season, right? Or a sixth of the season. If they played 25 games, right? Or they played right about
Yeah.
25 games. Yeah. So put stats times five, pretty much is what you're looking at. Now, of course, it doesn't work out that way because no one plays how they're playing all the way through consistently like that. You know what I mean? If you're stinking right now, usually as a major league ball player, you have good months and bad months. If you're really hot right now, you're gonna have your bad months. I mean, this is what happens. But right now, those are the players who are doing badly and affecting the teams in second to last and last place in the DraftMasters 18th season league. Steve, want to go over some of the pickups in the league?
Let's see what we had going on over this past week.
Where did we leave off? Did we do F. Cruz and Hamilton was dropped?
Um, let's see. Last Monday would have been the 21st. So go on the 22nd.
Who do you got there?
On April 22nd, well, you grabbed up Huskar Brazoban.
That's right, Steve.
Oh, and I mean, that's a pretty good name.
It's a great name. Brazaban is a great name. It's one of the reasons I picked them up. I just like saying Brazaban. Brazaban's on my team. No one's listening to me say that, but I do say it out loud Brazaban. I may have even dropped him, but he's a good reliever for the Mets. And then I dropped Rodriguez, catcher for the
Oh, let's go to
Pirates.
the next day. There was a ton of activity on the 24th. Go to the
Abs-
24th.
Oh my goodness, look at all that.
Look at
Wow.
all that. So you get Keekly for $3. Did anybody or Kushel? Who's that? Keishel? Luke
Keisho.
Keishel.
Keisho,
Yeah.
yeah. He's playing great. I was so stoked about the pickup. I think Mike bid $1, so I did beat Mike on that. And he was playing great, and like 3 or 4 games in, he gets injured, and he's on the IL, and it's a shame because they were playing him. He was batting in the near the middle top of the order, and he was playing great. So it's a shame that he got hurt. So that was the first pickup. Then after that, Zach made a
And you got
pickup.
him for 3, but nobody bid. It was
No,
just
Mike
you for
Mike bid
3.
$1.
Now I'm looking at the Fob report.
The full five report?
Yeah.
Could have sworn I saw that Mike bid one.
Okay, so then Landon Roop, and then Zach gives up on Alcantara or Alcantara, however you want to say that. That's kind of interesting.
Well, he was a pitcher coming into the year ranked pretty high, Steve, and he always in need of starting pitcher. He does have 6 now, but he did give up on him and picked up Roop, a reliever.
And then Garrett picked up Kyle Stowers from Miami. I had been keeping an eye on him too. Garrett got him for $2. Dropped Ryan McMahon from the Rockies. He'll probably be good. That's the guy who's going to get picked up and dropped probably 4 times this year.
Yep.
Um,
Especially when they're at home.
Augustine Ramirez, catcher from Miami. Mike, I mean, looking for catching depth. Everybody, everybody should have 3 catchers.
I think so.
Matthew Liberatore, relief pitcher. Tommy gets him. Matt Mervis, I think, what is that your second time getting Matt Mervis?
Yeah, I just dropped him because of just roster stuff, and then someone got injured, and I was able to put him on injured, so I had another spot open. And as you see, I dropped Rosoban. Roosevelt.
Yeah,
Roosevelt.
Huskar Brozoban. Yeah,
Roosevelt.
Huskar
Thank you.
Brozoban.
Yeah, so
Um,
I had him a day or two, but it's not because he pitched bad. By the way, I
then
like Tommy's pickup of Libertor. Uh,
yeah,
he's pitching well. I think is a guy to keep your eye on.
Zach picks up Henry Davis. I think that's the second time Zach's had Henry Davis,
Right, and he
the
dropped
catcher,
Nito,
young
and
catcher from.
Nito has been dropped at least 3 times and picked up at least 3 times. So
Yeah.
I kid you not. So that is very interesting.
Um, Garrett picks up Jalen Beeks, who's been pitching very well out of the Arizona bullpen. That's a solid pickup. Um, and then you got AJ Minter. Is he still injured? You grabbing him prematurely,
No, he's
or did you
pitching.
cut him already?
Nope, he's pitching.
Oh, okay. And then the next day,
I gave up on
Tom
Kirkering,
gets.
just to let the listeners know.
Oh, yeah, he's a guy who's been, I think, dropped 3 times now.
Yes.
Um, Noel V. Marte, Tommy grabbing him, dropping Zach Veen. You grabbing Oh no, Zach grabbing Logan Henderson and giving up on Xander Bogarts. What do you think of that?
You know, I find that very interesting.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean, Bogarts is a
Bogarts
guy.
just
Bogarts is
he
a
hasn't
guy
been
that's
playing
worth
great.
keeping. He's doing okay right now. I don't think he's horrible right now.
I don't know. No, it's not good actually.
Okay.
But I'm just saying it's just crazy that that's where we are with him now. That he's a guy who can get dropped in our league.
And he picked up that Henderson guy who I brought up. He stashed in the
Yep.
minors, had one great start. Could be a great pickup.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? That could very easily be the right move to do with Bogarts. It sounds fucking crazy, but there's a good chance. I mean, if that guy finishes the year hitting 265 with what, 17, big whoop, you know?
Yeah. How many of those are out there? And you know what? And that's the best case scenario. I don't think he's gonna finish with with those stats. He's one of those players, Steve, who's more important in real life than fantasy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Um, Next day, Hitty gets that center fielder, Jake Mangum from Tampa Bay. Mangum.
Yeah, Big Al got Mangum. He's, I believe, still injured, but he was obviously thinking stolen bases.
And then, sure. And then look at the very next one.
I
Zach
know,
Wheat
that's why
picks
I'm
up
laughing.
Nito and drops Henry Davis.
Dude, Nito's going to be the most picked up player in the league. He's already been picked up about four times, I think. So, and dropped. So, I have no doubt that we'll be talking about Nito being dropped in in the future.
That's funny.
That is funny.
The next day, Rick picks up Casey Mize, drops Yimi Garcia. Yeah, Yimi Garcia had been bad, and he was supposed to be good in the back of that bullpen. And Casey Mize, that's pretty. He's been doing well for Detroit.
I thought that was a
He's
good pickup. I like Mize's upside. Detroit is has a decent team. They're playing just okay, but I like that for $2. Wanted to make sure he got him. Didn't bid just one.
And then changed of course. You picked up Garrett, or you picked up Reed Garrett, and you dropped AJ Minter, who you just picked up a day or two earlier.
Yeah, this whole roulette wheel of relievers to get sold is just. I mean, there's
I
always a
know.
guy to shuffle in and out. There's always a guy that you want, damn. And then there's another guy out there like, oh wow, you're pitching good. And I looked it up, and I think Garrett was like top three in solds actually on holds,
Yeah,
not sold on holds. And so I was like, oh. And so I picked him up for Minter, and I'm sure there's a chance he'll be with me all year, and a chance that I'll drop
yeah, one or the other. Yeah, for sure. Tommy grabs Connor Wong, the catcher from Boston. I like that move coming back from the IL at some point. Um, he did well for Tom last year, so I bet Tom has some nostalgic attachment to the guy.
It's funny how you
And
get
I
those.
had
You
him.
have a player year by year, you do get that little nostalgia attachment.
I had him. I mean, I drafted him, but I cut him out of necessity. I had too many guys injured, and I
And,
wasn't gonna wait on him. He was gonna miss 6 weeks,
and,
so
and Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you have like five catchers at one point?
I think at one point I did have 5 catchers.
In the beginning of the
Yeah,
season, just figuring out your roster. I understand. This next pickup, I think, is a good pickup.
yeah. Jordan Beck, the
Yeah.
outfielder for Colorado.
I was looking at him and thinking about him, and yeah, I think that Big Al could obviously use some offense, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's hoping. I mean, at
he
this point, if you gotta, yeah, you gotta just take swings and see what happens, right? I mean,
well, he's a guy with a decent upside playing in Colorado as the weather's starting to warm up. Big Al, like you, he only has 12 points in batting. You have 10. You have 10 now, by the way. So,
yeah.
so, yeah, I think that's a great pickup by Big Al. And like you said,
Oh.
roll the dice, and that's why it is a good pickup. I hope he's playing him. I
Um,
didn't look at his roster.
on the next day, Garrett gets Bubba Chandler, pitcher from Pittsburgh. That's a pretty good preemptive pickup.
Yeah.
Um, I grabbed Camilo Doval, the reliever from San Francisco. He's been on fire lately, so that's.
I believe he's closing right now, and Walker is not.
Yeah. And he's in the past, he's got like whatever, 9 strikeouts in his last 4 innings or something like that. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, once
Same
again,
with
it's great that he's getting saves, but in this league, it doesn't matter. Saves or holds, and he's getting one of those two. And right now, he is
yep,
looked at as the closer. Then Baldy picked up Parker from Washington.
yeah, Mitchell Parker.
I
He
like
he
that
kind
pickup.
of got yeah, he has some decent upside, although I don't think his K rate's very good. So not sure about that.
Well,
Um,
it's a good pickup though. I think his K rate's low, but he's been pitching well. And if you need ERA and WHIP, I mean, you're thinking, hey, I can't get ERA, WHIP, and K, and the free agent wire. I'm gonna have to pick and choose and take what I can get.
true. Better to get something than nothing.
Yep,
Um, Zach with another catching move. He grabs Edgar Quero
Guerrero,
from the White Sox. Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, good
Zach's
young
just
player.
he's trolling the bottom for catchers.
Well,
Like
I
grabbing.
do believe that means Nito will be dropped soon.
It could be. Then Tom gets Griffin Canning, the starting pitcher from the Mets,
Well, by the
and
way, I
then
just want to say about that move. It's once again another decent pickup by Tom. It's a good move because I don't know, the Mets have a decent reputation of working with pitchers when they get to New York. And
yep.
Canning, once again, had 5 innings today, 4 hits, 3 walks, 5 Ks. They're up 15-1, so he's going to get another win for sure, which,
Hmm.
will make him 4-1 with a, 2.61 ERA. I mean, I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with the stats he's giving you right now. Strikeout per inning. WHIP is high though, Steve. So here's a question, Steve. There's a guy who's 4-1. He's got a 2.61 ERA. He's averaging 31 strikeouts, 31 innings, so strikeout per inning. But his WHIP is 139.
Ew.
How do you feel about a player like that? I mean, all the other categories, three
Yeah, really good.
very good categories.
Oh, I mean, that's that's rough. I mean, that's too good to be out on the waiver wire, but I'd rather not be the person starting them.
It is tough.
Especially the whip is so competitively low now with the way the pitching has changed. So if you're going to have a starter with a whip that high, that's that's kind of rough, I think.
But I will say, getting 4 wins and a strikeout per inning and a good ERA, a very good ERA. I mean, maybe you can combat that high whip since you have now 5 relievers for sure, and you're hopefully
Yeah, yeah.
all those guys as we discussed before, you want them having low whip. I got a couple guys high, but they're good whole souls guys. But I'm just saying because like even today, so he gave up no runs. He gave up 7 runners. He had 7 runners, 4 hits, 3 walks. I didn't look at the box score, so I don't know if there's any double plays. But he had 5 Ks in 5 innings. I mean, it sounds like to me he gets his strikeouts, but he gets runners on and just works around them. That's what's been going on.
Hmm. Or he
Uh,
might just have like that, maybe like one of those pitches. He just has that inning, like he'll give you 3 innings where no one gets on base, but there's that one inning where he gives up 5 base runners and 2 runs, you
and
know?
looking at today's game, there was one double play. Lindor, ground ball to him. He must have stepped in second and thrown to Alonso for the double play. And then the Nationals, do they have anyone out stealing? No, they have one stolen base, Garcia. By the way, Steve, I just want to let you know that I love looking at box scores because box scores are the DNA of baseball.
Yeah, that's the best thing about, well, no, it isn't, but it's one of the things that separates baseball the most. You can just live it through the box score.
You can get so much information from the box score. It is the DNA of the game, and it's a great way to see trends of people doing well before people. That's how people write about it. They see what's going on. But I love, and just to let you know, I can always look at a box score and figure everything out. But for the first time ever, I think it was last year they started it. The box score does not make sense because the box score, you could always figure things out. There are certain things I'm talking about. But now with the ghost runner, like I could always figure out, oh, that error happened there, that run. Now with the ghost runner, you got people getting scoring runs that aren't earned. And you're like, what? And it just messes up the purity of the DNA of baseball, which is the box score. Now it's still a great thing to look at, and you get so much information from it. Like today's game, looking at Kenny, he's got another good game. That one double play helped him. So 6 runners in 5 innings. Double play knocked out one. So I mean, I get it. The 139 whip is high, but I don't know. It's a pretty useful player.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's useful.
Now,
That goes without saying.
here's the question to you without looking. Does anybody have Canning in our league?
Well, I mean, Tom picked him up, so yeah, Tom's
Yeah,
got him.
you did know. Tom picked him up, but no one had him before that, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. That's a great pickup for Tom. I hope he started him today.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know. Did
guess
he?
he did. So yeah, I love looking at box scores. They are the DNA of baseball. Another thing I really like, Steve. I might bring this up later in the MLB segment. I love when so I have MLB on my phone. My phone's with me. I don't know about you as a human being. My phone's always with me at all times.
Yeah.
In the shower, whatever. I mean, it's like you have your phone shower, right? So your shower phone. So I love it when I'm on the MLB app and I'm looking through the box score listings of, like all the scores. I'm looking through the scores. Oh, the score of this team, this game, and I
Yeah.
see, and they have who's at bat, and who's pitching, and I love when I see my players up. Oh, look, my player's coming up. He's up right now. So I hit watch. I hit watch right away, Steve, because my player's coming up. If I see he's coming up, like sometimes I'll check the lineups, like, oh, that guy's like right before him. I'll go watch this game for a little while. And there's nothing better than doing that and watching your player from your fantasy team get a hit.
It is a good feeling.
It's a good
It's a
feeling.
good feeling.
It's a great feeling because you're always, if you're into fantasy, you're really in pulling for your player to jump there in whatever city they're playing baseball at that time and to be able to see it basically live happen as it happens. And I just was able to see it's happened a few times this year, and I've seen some hits. I mean, every so often you're going to see a double play or a strikeout or a pitcher give up a homer. I do it with pitchers too. Oh, he's pitching. I want to see him pitch. But I did see Suarez's fourth homer of the game the other day.
Eugenio,
Yeah,
four homer game.
four homer game, and I knew that he had three. I saw that he was up or coming up. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go check that out. So I watched it as it happened, and that was a great feeling. I love when that happens because I love baseball, Steve.
The great moments are great for sure. That goes
Ab-
without. I mean, yeah, I love seeing all that stuff.
Absolutely, but the heartbreak is real too. I mean, we have you as a Red Sox fan had much heartbreak as a kid.
Well, and on the opposite of what you said with the app, sometimes I hate it when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go look at my guy because he's coming up, and then, whatever, he strikes out or he pops out in the infield, and I'm like, maybe he wouldn't have done that if I wasn't watching,
Well, I
you
love
know?
that superstitious feeling. I got to wear my lucky sweater, my team's playing, or my lucky cap, or it was me who caused that to happen because I went and watched it. Somehow that threw everything off in the world and how in the universe and how it works. And me looking at my player made him strike out with the bases loaded where he could have given me a grand slam. I don't think it works that way, but it might.
Yes. Well, like certain things, they're unprovable, so let's just
No,
let's just call it faith.
it's a real thing, the superstition. I didn't play at any high level, but when I did play sports up into my early 20s, you are a little superstitious when you're playing well. I think players are superstitious. I think they have their own superstitions that they do with whether it be equipment or apparel that they wear. And I think definitely fans, no, without a doubt, fans have their shirts or hats or whatever. I did this last game, they won. I'm going to do it this next game. Whatever. I think as a player, you even do that. Like I had this meal. I have a 5 game hitting streak. I'm going to keep eating this meal until I stop getting a hit.
I looked up Eugenio Suarez. I wanted to see who had him, and I forgot it's you. You're the one
Yes,
who has him,
I do.
and you paid $17 for him,
More than I wanted, but I
which,
wanted him at the time. He was
yeah,
one of the better
yeah.
power hitters left out there.
Well, I mean, he's got 10 home runs and 20 RBI, so you
Yeah.
can't complain with that at all.
No.
Um, I'm I'm kind of shocked he's ranked as low as 54 with those numbers, but I guess that 206 batting average isn't helping.
Yeah, that 206 batting average. Now he's a 312 on base with a 12 walks, which is pretty decent actually. I mean, not great, but pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, listen, he's got 28 games played, so That's about times 5.5, times 6. So he's on an amazing pace. I mean, listen, if he hit, let's just do the numbers correctly, not 60, but 50 or 45 to 50 some home runs and had 100 to 110, 15 ribbies, I would probably put up with a 206 average.
Sure. Especially, I mean, if he's going to hit 45 home runs, man.
Absolutely. I'm not doing well in average, actually, as you bring it up, and we were talking about the standings earlier. When it comes to average, I'm towards the bottom, and it's really hurting me. I'm trying very hard to get out, and I've picked up some players. That Minnesota player I picked up has a high average. The young guy just got injured. But in batting average, I am eighth with a 238 average. Only you at a 230 average. Whew! And Big Al at a
Well, I am.
235 average are below me. I'm tied with Baldy right now with a 238. But, Ape is at 240. So there's 2 points right ahead of me.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Once again, look at Zach. 268 in average. Slugger's 254. He's got a 14-point lead.
It's got 255 average now, anyways, on the live scoring. Seatown with a 254 average also. That's crazy currently. Zach is 30 points ahead of me and 38 points ahead of you in batting average. The Furies.
Here's another thing too. I'm looking at team totals,
Yeah,
and Zach. Well, you actually have the lead now. You've played 404 hitting games
right,
for 1,468 at bats. Zach's 403, one game less, but he's got 15 more at bats. So if I
right.
sort by at bats, Zach leads the league with 1,483 at bats. Rick's at 1,473. You're at 1,468. But on the flip side, Hunter is at 1,338. So he's already 150 at bats behind Zach.
Yeah, that's really big, Steve. Um,
And Seatown is at 1,370. Tommy's at 1,375. And that's so, yeah, there's like three extreme at the top and three extreme at the bottom. There's
well,
about 120 between the two.
I will say I'm slightly over in a couple categories, as I'm guessing other people high in games played are also. Sluggers, overall stats, they're doing pretty well in some of their counting stats, even though they're that many at bats behind.
That's
So,
pretty good for him then.
yeah, like in home runs, he's tied for fifth, only six behind Seatown for second. So he's doing okay in his counting stats. RBIs, he's third. He's got 130 less bats than the top team, and he's third with 201. So
Wow.
his offense is doing well with less at bats, but that is a concern. Listen, it's one of those things. People always bring up having the time, and if you're busy, it is without a factor. But I've always said you can do it in 5, 10 minutes a day. Making sure you get your games played and getting those at bats. Right now, you can easily catch up, but it's not something you want to do 2, 3 months in.
No. And looking at the ops, Zach has an 800 ops. That's just crazy. I don't think any season we've had has the first place team finished at 800. Um, so having that is pretty amazing. And then Mike is at 775, Slugger's 766, Stoney 747, Tommy 743, Garrett 742, Rick 718, Eddie 699, Chris 697, and I am coming in last with a 686 ops. Just putrid. My
Your
slugging is 376, dude.
your
My
team
slugging as a team is 376.
is not hitting at all.
No, the average was bad. The on base is bad. The slugging is bad. It's just, it's bad. It's not good. All right, let's go down to pitching real quick.
Real quick,
That
let's
was
go over some pitching
sad
that,
and sobering.
yeah, absolutely. You have some decent pitching. Hey, and by the way, I'm looking at the thing because I knew you were wrong. I didn't have my computer out. When I picked up Luke Keichel for $3, Seatown bid $1. I'm looking at it right now.
Well, on the report I pulled up, I just clicked on the free agent report
You got to
from the
hit full. There's a
laptop, and
little
there was.
button there that says full report. You got to hit full report.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, I just had to get that straight for the listeners because I knew I was correct. Okay, so anyways, let's go over the pitchers real
All right.
quick as we wrap up the Draft Master segment.
Yes. The innings. Garrett has 252 innings used. You have 249. Mike has 249. I have 236. At the bottom, Eddie's at 204. Tommy's at 210. Chris is at 220. Zach is at 220. So nothing super bad. I mean, there's just 48 innings from the top to the bottom.
Right.
Something to keep an eye on. You
Absolutely.
know, you don't want to be too far back.
Or too far
But
ahead. Or
looks
too
like
far ahead.
Zach, or too far ahead, sure, which Garrett's had a problem with a few years in a row. But Zach does seem like he can close that pretty easily, I
Absolutely.
guess.
I would think so. He did just pick up, he had four starters in one of our podcasts. So now he has six. So he's definitely made an effort
Yep.
and even just dropped one with a high pedigree in Alcan. Who did he drop? Alcantara? Um, Alcantara, didn't he drop him?
Yep. He did.
So he's making an effort, dropping and picking up starters. I will say Zach once said, about getting ahead. He's like, hey, you get your innings when you get your innings. So if you get quality innings and you're like 100 innings ahead, but you're like doing really well in ERA and WHIP and wins and strikeout, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if you're, as long as you realize that and like, you don't want to
Sure.
finish your
I mean,
innings in August, but
it's just you just need to have a bigger lead on the people behind you than you think you would.
absolutely.
Because at some point, if they're still going to be gaining numbers consistently, it's the tortoise versus the hare thing. The hare can win, but they need to get a big fucking lead, a big lead. You
Yeah.
know, because at some point they're going to stop, and then the tortoise is just going to keep moseying on along, and there's
From
a
my
chance you could get caught at
understanding
the end.
of animation as a child, I believe the hare would stop and get some drinks, have some food, maybe visit
Usually
her.
smoke a cigarette or a
Yeah,
cigar.
yeah, absolutely. That's my understanding of how the story goes. I was worried about my innings. I'm on the higher end of the innings. Like you said, nothing horrible. But I just had Carlos Sanchez and Reagan's have like question marks about little injuries that haven't been announced as a big injury yet, but they could miss a start, and I'd be okay with that, really.
Looking at K per nine, K per nine now. I feel this is the one stat my team's good at. I'm first at 10.31. That's a pretty fucking good K per nine.
It's very good.
Um, Hunter's at 10.09 and you're 10.07.
Okay, I'm over 10. That's good.
Those are the only three tens: 10.31, 10.09, 10.07. At the bottom end, Zach is 8.90, Chris is 9.16, Eddie's 9.23.
Over 9. That's good.
Yeah, Zach's the only one under nine, right at 8.90.
Well, it's very interesting, Steve, because we come from a time growing up where there just weren't as many strikeouts. And obviously, we weren't playing fantasy back then. But, a strikeout per inning, even in the beginning of fantasy play, seemed like good. But now in a 10-team league, you need more than a strikeout per inning.
If, if you want to be competitive in this category,
Ab
absolutely.
Absolutely. You never want to punt strikeouts. Never want to punt strikeouts. Well, I got to tell you, this season so far so good. Your team is not doing well. I wonder if they will. I gotta
I'll
admit,
wait till the second. I'm going to go another month before I start doing anything drastic.
sure. I think you have to give it up. I still have faith in Eddie's team before the season, and looking at it right now. Baldy is definitely trying to make some moves and get up. He's always competitive, so I think he'll keep plugging. And the other seven teams, like I said, are only 11 points apart. So it's a competitive season so far in the Draft Masters Season 18 Roto 5 by 5 League. Steve, that was fun talking about fantasy baseball.
Let's do it again next week.
Let's go. The Draft Master segment is over. I'm Dan O'J McClellan. That's Steve Romano. We'll talk to you again real soon. Cheers.
Later.